It's a Saturday evening here in southern New Jersey. Unusual to be doing Don't Bury the Lead at this time, but hey, I'll take it. It was like watching a long football game. It was Crown Jewel. Without further ado, John, don't bury the lead. What's our top story from this premium live event originating from Saudi Arabia?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead, no matter where the pay-per-view is. And this special pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, the lead is Roman Reigns retains the title against LA Knight in a very good main event. Dom, what did you think of this match?
Leading up to this match, Roman Reigns had said something about leaving LA Knight in the desert, like they were going to bury him. Well, don't bury the lead and don't bury LA Knight. LA Knight gets beat here, but I think he looks strong. This was a different Roman Reigns match for me. I haven't seen many of them. He wrestles every couple of months or so as a singles title defense. Roman fights right away. That was very un-Roman-like when the bell rang. So this match only goes 20 minutes, but it has as much action in it as like a normal 30-minute Roman Reigns match. Because there was very little of that, let's pose and posture for 5 minutes before we lock up or do things. Like he went right after him, which I mean, unexpected, but it led to a match with a lot of action. Eventually it becomes somewhat of a schmaz, as all Roman Reigns matches do. The last 5 minutes, really. Solo Sikoa comes out to cause a distraction on the Ram. That brings out Jimmy Uso. I mean, eventually we'll get more into what the schmazing was about, but Roman Reigns hits a huge spear on LA Knight for a pinfall. Just about 20 minutes into this for the 1, 2, 3. Fun match, though. This was a cool match. It was an unusual Roman Reigns match, but it wasn't unusual in a bad way. I liked it. What say you in a general sense before we get into some spots?
I liked it too. The amount of heat in the building, especially for a crowd that's a little notoriously dead, they were really, really into it. And that's usually how I'll assess the matches, how they're able to hook the crowd. They didn't need to do much. You know, when the crowd's that into it and the build's that good, they really didn't have to do anything too crazy or too outside the box to get them going. But overall, I have to give credit to LA Knight for standing strong and looking strong in the performance. And I think he fit the part of a guy that should be in the main event. So overall, I was pretty happy with it. And Roman Reigns continues to just really impress as the heel champion here.
I was glad to see the crowd get back into it for this match. And you're right, they were hot right away. But there were at least 2 matches on this 7-match card, not counting the kickoff show match that was before the official premium live event started, where it looked like the crowd was out of it. So I was glad to see the crowd they were hot early and really into this match right away. It was a great 20 minutes for the crowd, it seemed like, as well as watching it. Roman, of course, he's doing Roman stuff. He's wonderful at playing to the crowd as a heel, mocking them, looking like he's trying to get into arguments with them. You know, as he books her, he's doing the shush when they start chanting for LA Knight. You know, at other times they start chanting against Roman, and he starts looking at him like, me? Like, you think I'm that? You think I'm an a-hole? You think I suck? He does all of it. He's so good at, you know, Roman's in an arena with how many thousands of people, yet he acts like he's, you know, at an indie show in front of a few dozen.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to argue with specific people in the audience.
My favorite
it's wonderful.
Was the crowd's notoriously kind of dead there, but they were so into it. And the chants I was hearing, they're doing the a-hole chant. I felt like I was in ECW Arena in 1997.
Right.
Like they were so, you know, I haven't heard that one pulled out in forever. So I was, you know, as a native of Philadelphia, I was really into the a-hole chant. I was like, wow, I haven't heard that in a while. And I was into it.
Do we have to give LA Knight a lot of credit here? Because people were hot for LA Knight, and that just rolled over into just, you know, the anti-Roman chants. Like this was not your sit on your heel. And maybe it couldn't be, because Roman Reigns and LA Knight don't have a lot of history. They didn't spend a lot of time building this match. This wasn't Roman versus Jey Uso, where there's years of history there. They're cousins. They were in the bloodline. This was thrown together very quickly, and it was just let's see what you guys can do about this match. I thought both guys, the crowd was crazy for it, and both guys performed really well. I liked this match. I mean, was it Roman, Sami Zayn in Elimination Chamber? No. This was fun.
It wasn't the match of the year, but I'd say it's, for me, one of the better Roman Reigns matches I've seen. And it's definitely the most I would even make the argument that's like the most I've seen a face-over since we've been watching, right?
Yeah.
I know Cody was at some point, but there was a little bit like the heat kind of turned off with him. Sammy in Montreal, but that was his hometown. This is Saudi Arabia, and they're going crazy. I mean, they're going crazy for Roman Reigns, like he was born there or something,
Yeah. This was a
LA night.
This was there was a lot of questions going into this match, and so I watched this match just saying, okay, open-minded. Let's see what happens. Let's see how the crowd reacts. Let's see how the wrestlers react. And I think that's why I keep using the word fun. Like, I know this wasn't a 5-star classic like Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and it probably wasn't even the best Roman Reigns match. But just because you went into it without much preconceived notions, this was fun to just watch it play out. And any spots you liked, any sequences in here that stuck out to you? I don't want to dwell forever just saying fun. These guys wrestled for 20 minutes, and it was as much action as a 35-minute Roman Reigns match. So anything you wanted to point out?
For me, it's just the a-hole chant was like, yes, amazing. The pacing was perfect. They didn't have to do anything too crazy. Like, they didn't have to go a million miles an hour. But they did kind of start off pretty quickly, but they didn't start doing like a million dives and stuff like that. Every time LA Knight...
And we did see some dives today.
Oh, yeah, did we?
Sorry to cut you off, but you mentioned dives, and that's just a sore spot for each of us.
We'll talk about the good right now. But like every strike LA Knight did, the crowd's just going, yeah, like everything. So it was just, for me, from my perspective, pretty simple stuff, but just the amount of like the level that LA Knight is over right now, that every time he swings and hits someone, they go, yeah. I loved, I do have a spot. When he did the 10 bashes of the head onto the desk onto Jimmy Uso when he interfered, and then Roman came right in and he just started doing it to him. I was like, that's cool. That was a great transition.
That was the sort of the closing sequence there. It was LA Knight had a pin, and Jimmy Uso, who had been out there causing a distraction, put Roman's foot on the rope. And then so LA Knight does not get the pinfall. LA fights with Jimmy on the outside. Roman joins the fight. That's where you're talking about LA got the upper hand on each of them. But then after LA Knight running Roman Reigns into the post, he puts Jimmy through the announce table. But then he staggers out of that, and Roman spears him through the barricade, tosses him into the ring. That was the beginning of the end. One more spear in the ring, and that's the pinfall. We did get the Roman sucks chance, as you were talking about. Some spots I liked in this match. LA Knight, they build him about 240 pounds, so Roman's got about 25, 30 pounds on him. LA Knight does that tilt-the-world power slam when Roman's coming off the ropes. That's a tough move to do on a bigger wrestler. LA Knight, impressive strength and agility there to hit that move so smoothly. It looks great on the bigger wrestler. And like, Roman was in no danger there. It's not like he was going to drop on his head. But Roman came off those ropes, went up for him perfectly, as you should, as the guy taking the move. And LA Knight hit the tilt-the-world on the power slam. That was a really good move. LA Knight leapfrogged the spear. I haven't seen guys leapfrog the spear too often.
Oh, yeah.
They duck out of the way, they roll. LA Knight leapfrogged the spear.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I missed that, actually.
I did like that one. They were up on top, and it looked like LA was going to hit him with a superplex. Roman fought him off, and I'm thinking, oh no, are they going to try to do the fight off, and then LA Knight's going to leap up to the top rope and superplex him? I don't know if Roman can take this as a much bigger wrestler, and if he's used to that. I mean, people don't manhandle Roman Reigns like that often. They went for that spot, and it looked okay.
Yeah.
Like Roman took it well. Big superplex. Then the mic, he hits the mic check. LA Knight elbow off the ropes there, but gets the 2 count. Roman kicks out, and that's right before Solo Soa came out for the distraction, and then Jimmy Uso got involved on the outside. Neat stuff all the way around. The strikes were good. I like that they teased a submission.
Right.
You know, Roman's got that front face lock in there, going for that chokehold submission. And LA Knight goes limp. Then he starts to hulk up, and he looks like he's going to fight out of it. And every time he fights out of it, Roman just reapplies it again. You know, it was they weren't going to like give up on it. You know, it wasn't that just cookie cutter thing where babyface is in a submission, he hulks up, he fights out, and then there's the comeback. Like they made Roman's the bigger guy, he's the champ. You know, so LA Knight would fight out, and Roman would just manhandle him again and overpower him.
Right.
So a lot of good in-ring psychology, as well as they could do it for a match that had really very little build and no backstory. So not a ton to dwell on. If this is the kind of match you could have enjoyed if you just watched this premium live program today and had no idea who these guys were. There are a lot of matches that rely on months and months of build. This match relied on nothing.
Yeah.
It was a babyface that was huge over a tremendous heel champion that played the part. You know, a heel victory at the end with the interference. But I'll say it again, fun, a lot of fun. I don't have much more to add about this match. If you want to put a bow on it,
we'll put a bow on it because this was a long pay-per-view, Dom. So 7
matches. It's time for the follow. That was the lead. Tell us in the comments if you're watching live, if you want to give us a chat, or if you're watching later and just want to leave us a comment. An unusual Roman Reigns match, agree or disagree? Do you like a match with no build with lots of action, or would you have preferred a more typical Roman match that we've gotten over the past year? Tell us what you think. I thought it was fun and different, and I wasn't bothered by the things it lacked because of the things that it did have.